Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar today. Thank you all for being here. For the ones that don't know us, you probably all do, but if you don't know us, just going to go over a brief history of us and who we are and why we do these webinars and the coaching and everything else. So, if you don't know, my name is Mike, and together with my awesome wife, Jessica, we've been riding the waves of the microgreen world now for 4+ years. Our journey kicked off on a carpeted floor in a 12 by 10 living room. So very, very humble beginnings. So anybody could start this business. The racks weren't the right size. We could only put 3 trays on there properly. There's a lot of things, that we've learned over time, but we got started. That's the main thing. We got started. So if you're not started, start. Now we've come and now we're sitting here in a 4,000 square foot warehouse coming to you guys to do this stuff and do the training. So giant leap forward for us to take that and a risk to take that as well. Got a 5-year lease. But one of the best decisions we ever made because we wouldn't be where we're at right now without that. Our dedication and belief is that we could achieve anything in the microgreen world has really, really paid off for us, obviously. Every week we grow and harvest about 600 trays, seeding them for restaurants, family kitchens, grocery stores, food banks, farmers markets, soon to be food distributor. We're working with one, multiples will be coming. So all that is there. So definitely much greater grass, greener is here to go. We're going to be growing more and more. We set out to double our business every year. We've done that this year already. So we're even trying to even do more this year. So the growth from our living room is a massive warehouse. It's just not about space, but it's about the potential of the opportunities that lie with the microgreen industry for anyone to dive into. We started a simple dream and a lot of learning along the way that we've learned from coaches and this learning from trials on our own that some of you may relate to and be a compelling story for you as well. Today, webinar is more just about lessons that peek into our lives. We're here to share the highs and lows. There's been a lot of lows. There's been a lot of highs, each tray at a time. Whether you're just curious about building enthusiasm or your deep passion for starting your own microgreen venture, you're in the right place. Let's explore together the profitability of the microgreen world and uncover the business opportunity you've been waiting for. So let's begin. First webinar here, Green Gold, Unlocking Your Business Potential of Microgreen Business. So let's dive into the vibrant world of microgreens, defining microgreens. So we're going to start here from the very beginning. So if you know some of this stuff, it's just going to be here for you. But defining microgreens, a neat category of greens harvested either just before or just as the true leaf emerges. Sets them apart from sprouts and baby greens. The just before the true leaf, that's sunflowers. You definitely want to do that on sunflowers. Some of the others, you want to get some true leaves on them, make them look good. Cilantro, for one, looks really good with all that. Carrots, even broccoli, stuff like that. You want to get them the true leaves just emerging. So that is the definition pretty much of a microgreen, though. Just before the true leaf or just after the true leaf. That's what makes them set apart. By doing that, you're going to lock in the natural flavor profile of these microgreens. Early harvests not only enhance their intense flavor, but also boosts their nutrition as well. So they're much more nutritious for you. Harvesting is at that size. And the flavor profiles are amazing as well. There are hundreds of vegetables and herbs that can be grown in microgreens. Almost all can. Some you don't want to, but almost all can be grown as a microgreen. And you can get a lot of profile, flavor, taste, looks out of them, everything else. So these are some of the differences of them, but these are all, different nutrient ways, chefs use them to make it look pretty. You can eat them in salad. You can eat them just themselves. You can put them in everything. We always say the 5 S's, you can do that, Easy way to use microgreens is everywhere you're already eating. All right. Nutrition and culinary value. Natural benefits of microgreens not only feast the eyes, but powerhouse nutrition. Study has shown they're packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and often higher concentrations that are found in mature vegetables, almost always. These make an excellent addition to your diet. So you want to get some nutrient stuff in there. I think most of you know my story, why I believe in broccoli microgreens. We all should be eating them, so I hope you all are. Very, very good for you, for health. For sure, and they taste great. So microgreens are loaded with high concentration of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants compared to mature vegetables. Dietary benefits: the nutrient dense microgreens are excellent addition to your diet because of that. I believe broccoli microgreens can help. This is my personal view. Help you if you have any cancer issues or anything like that. Definitely is something that can help you along that route as well. Get you much more nutrients in your body quicker. Microgreens also can enhance the dishes. As you can see above here, they can make them look good. People should be eating them, and they can add flavor and texture to that dish. So chefs can use them as part of their dish, or you can as well. Love some spicy salad mix on top of a hamburger. Excellent. Very, very good. So they're both culinary professionals and home cooks can treasure microgreens and a variety of cooking ways. Many, many ways to use them pretty much everywhere you're already at. So varieties of microgreens, common types. There are countless varieties of microgreens. Each offer unique flavors, benefits. For instance, radish microgreens are spicy kick. They will give you a kick in the butt if you use too much. I learned that lesson when I first put in my omelet. Put like a half, like almost 1 ounce in an omelet. That was a very, very spicy omelet. Learn to tone it down. Just put a few sprays in there and cut them up. And then it was excellent. Pea shoots offer a sweet crunch. Very, very good for that. You can saute them up, all that stuff. So very, very good. So explore some easy, fast grows. So if you're just starting out, I highly recommend you starting with the top 5, the 5 easiest ones to grow somewhat. 5 easiest to grow. What are they? So first would be broccoli. Obviously, I'm always going to be promoting that. Radishes, so you get a spicy. Peas are very easy and they're high yielding. A salad mix of some kind, like True Leaf has a basic salad mix, a spicy salad mix. One of them are from whoever, a salad mix of some kind, so you can have that in there. And then sunflowers. Sunflowers are the 5th one because somewhat harder to grow. Becoming easier. We have some techniques coming up that we're going to have on our channel and everything else in the community, and let you guys know a different way of growing sunflowers and getting them faster and make them easier. Each microgreen can be slightly different in their growing conditions. Most of them are all similar. That's the reason why we say start with these 5, because these are pretty similar grows. As you start and find microgreens, set apart, different conditions, optimal. Amaranth dies very quickly. If you've ever grown amaranth, it doesn't like water, and then it wants some water. So you have to find the happy medium, but it really doesn't like water. It doesn't like a lot. Beets don't like their roots wet, so they want to be able to soak that water up and be done. So light watering so you can soak it up and there's not water setting down there, because if their roots are wet, they're going to die off. Sunflowers like to be a little bit warmer. That's the reason why we've changed some techniques on that to have all the crops other than and keeping them a little bit warmer during germination and their first stage of growing. So understanding these can help cultivate and make the best flavor and nutrients and your best growth. So knowing them conditions, and having somebody who's been along that way helps a lot. So growing microgreens, why grow them? Why should you grow them? One, you should grow them for health. But what is your market demand? So if you're going to grow this for the business, what's the market demand? You need to do your research and know what your market demand are for. Are they driven? Your area, is it driven by health benefits, culinary? Are you in Tampa, a place that got cruise ships and they're just wanting to make them look pretty? Or are you in a health conscious area? What is your area? So that's going to determine what you're going to grow too. You're going to grow different microgreens if you're in a health area versus make one of them look pretty for chefs. They've quickly are becoming a staple around the world. You can see in Google Trends how they're going up. Microgreen is just going up and up and up. So great place to be, great things to be growing is your microgreens. They're coming more and more familiar in the world and in the US and everywhere, and the demand is getting there. Even more. Demand is good now, but it's going to go up. So we're in the right industry. Indoor vertical farming is where it's at. Speaking of that, sustainability. Microgreens are not just good for you, but the potential of a major part of feeding the planet, because we're going to need indoor vertical farms. They require minimal water. Space is limited. You don't have to have a lot of space to grow these. The resources to grow them make ideal crops for sustainable agriculture practices, because you can grow them at the great temperatures indoors. You can grow them vertically. You're using less water. They're in a tray. You're not just spreading water everywhere. Because if you ever do outdoor farming, traditional farming, man, that water's just spraying everywhere, and most of it doesn't even hit the crops. So it's a lot of water waste. We are very, very content on that. So I'm curious, what microgreens have you tried to grow, and which ones are you most excited to grow? So what are you growing and what you're most excited to grow? Put that in the chat. Let us know, and we can talk about that in a bit with you. So look forward to that. It's always interesting to find out what people are growing and what they want to grow. What are you interested in? For us, when we first started, Jessica's really been researching at this point in the very beginning how healthy microgreens were for you. So we grew broccoli microgreens because that's the one had the most research and said it was the most healthy benefit for you. So we grew microgreens. We started that in a windowsill at the house in a 10-20 tray. It was a cheap 10-20 tray. They don't last long, but it was our first grow. That's what we grew in. It taught us, that like lighting the water and everything of broccoli microgreens and what it was going to do. So what environment factors and everything else. Obviously, just growing a windowsill, we didn't have a lot of things under control, but we learned. We learned how to grow stuff when we got started. Shortly after that, we got racks and we started growing this business, and then here we are. So definitely them are key factors you're going to need to know: the lighting, temperature, humidity, and what environment factors make them grow the best. You got to know that stuff. All right, creating the perfect environment to grow microgreens. So the ideal growing conditions. We discuss specific light, temperature, humidity, and conditions for optimal growing. So you want 72 to 75 degrees. You could go low as 78. You could go as high as 78. But 72 to 75 we found out to be the ideal temperature. Humidity somewhere between 40 and 50. Ideally, the 45 to 40, which is where you really want to be at. But you can go up to 50 and you'll be okay. You probably have to water less, everything like that. Lighting, we use T8s and T5 lights, 2 T5s or 2 T8 lights to give it enough lighting. Just depends on how distant your shelves are. We got basil that grows with 2 lights versus everything else that grows with 1 light. So it's just different knowing that. Soil versus hydroponic. So this is always a debate in microgreen world. What should you use? Soil is a soil substrate medium of some kind, a potty mix, something like that, a Coco Loco, a potty mix from ProMix, ProMix BX or something like that, or MP or HP. It's going to give you the best consistent growing that you can get, the most forgivings, everything else. Hydroponic, it's very, very difficult to dial it in and do everything else. Soil is definitely the way to start if you're new. If you're experienced with hydroponics, sure, go down that road, but it's going to be more difficult setup, more expensive setup in the beginning and everything else. So equipment that you're going to need for growing microgreens, lights, obviously, we recommend the T8s or T5s. Trays, recommend bootstrap trays. I highly recommend getting high quality trays to start with because you're going to pay the $4 to $5, $6 per tray instead of $2 per tray over and over and over again. So pay once. Watering techniques. This is going to be different for each environment. Depending on your humidity and your temperature, it's going to be slightly different. Close, but slightly different. So you got to get that down. Always recommend underwatering, watering once a day, but go back when you're first starting and check it every 12 hours and see what the crops are. They too dry? Okay, I need to leave them a little bit more water right now to get them through until the next day. Then I know I need the next day, I need to water them a little bit more. Check again in 12 hours and see what they look like. Most crops, even if they're falling over, if you water them, they're going to perk right up. Unless it's beets and amaranth, which we talked about earlier. But the other ones will come back as long as you don't completely kill them. Monitoring growth, you want it to monitor the growth, especially when you first start daily. When you first start a new crop, you want to make sure that you're monitoring them. You're writing everything down, keeping track of it, so you know what the factors are. What was the humidity today? What was the temperature? Did we have a spike? Did we drop? If you're not controlling completely, so you know that away what you're at. So, and then once you get all that down, you get you get the grow environments down, everything like that. Now try common problems that you could come up. Identifying early issues. If you can identify the issues early, such as mold, which we've talked to Dan about and others about, and how to control that and do stuff when you do have mold, because it will happen. It still happens to us occasionally. So it's going to happen. Mold is in the air. It can settle down at any time if you ain't doing things right. But so you want an even growth though. So even growth to have these problems. So you want to flatten the soil substrate out and make sure it's nice and flat and it got bumps in it. That's where I see the most problems coming with mold are bad seeds. One of the two, or overwatering for germination, putting way too much water in them. Preventing measures, to avoid all these pitfalls in growing. You want to make sure you have proper airflow. proper hygiene practices for you. And if you got anybody else working in the area, anybody else going in there, you want to try and keep that perfect hygiene area so you don't have anything that could settle on it, any dirt or anything like that that's going to get on the plants that might affect it and give it mold problems as well. Biggest problem with mold is overwatering, bad soil, bad seeds, are watering, bad seeds, airflow. Thank you. Air circulation. You want to make sure the air is moving in that area, because if you let it settle down, that's when it's going to settle down on the products, and that's when you can get mold as well. So mold is in there to keep it moving so it doesn't settle down. So, just problem solving and going through and correcting them and having somebody you can ask that's went through all that helps a lot. You want to make sure you got pest management in check too. So bait traps around, everything else, because there's pests around. They can get into your house. They can get into your warehouse. They can get in wherever you're growing. So just have the proper traps in place and the proper procedures in, and seal off any holes that something might crawl through. But they can get in when you open a door and you don't even see them happen. So make sure you just have the proper things to control pests, because you do not want to get them in your crop, because once it's in the crop, it's dead. And always learning. If you're not learning, you're dying. No matter if you're 20 or 80. I think I put a quote in the Growth Bites community lately about that. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or 80. If you're not learning, you are dying. So always learning and always doing stuff. I'm always learning, sharing them with you guys as well. So make sure you're out there learning and growing in every aspect of your life, just not microgreens or business, but every aspect. So optimizing your growth for commercial success, which I believe you all want to do commercial and sell these products and do stuff. So when you're scaling up your microgreen production from a small setup to more large and more commercial viability, getting multiple racks, things are going to change. Your environment's going to change. You're going to get more humidity in there. You're going to get more trays, more stuff to clean, all that stuff. So you're going to get more of. But the biggest problem is this scaling up and finding space for it. So make sure you have that thought in your head. Where do I put a second, third, fourth rack when you're setting up your space? Because that's the goal to get there. So make sure you do that. It might change, but kind of have a plan ahead and where you would go with that if you did do that. It probably will change. It changed for us, but have a plan in place to begin with. Where are you going to put for harvest? Where are you going to harvest? Where are you going to plant it? Where are you going to store your soil? All these things are going to come up when scaling a business. Cost effective. You want to be the most cost effective you can. So if you can afford it, buy seeds in bulk. Don't buy the 5-pound packs, buy the 25-pound packs. Seeds are going to last years as long as you have them. They're going to be good. Germination rate might drop a little bit after a year, but they still will be good. So don't hesitate to, if you can afford it, get the 25-pound bags. I do recommend testing seeds out at like a pound or 5 pounds and find out if you want to grow them or you know how to grow them. But once you do, scale up by that. Buy trays in bulk. If you can afford it, you can buy trays in bulk and save some money. Buying soil in bulk, you can save money. So as you scale up and do stuff, you want to start buying stuff in bulk. In the beginning, yes, you're going to buy small, but eventually you're going to scale up. That's going to help save you money and make you more profit, which is what we all want, more profit. So quality control obviously is huge. You want to have quality control. Importance of maintaining high standards for every batch of microgreens to ensure customer satisfaction and they come back. You might sell it once. If you don't have the good quality and the high quality, they're not going to come back. And they'll never tell you. You may never know. So you want high quality. So you get the repeat customers. We have lost a couple home delivery customers as we went along. A lot of it is because they changed their lifestyle. They've done others. You'll have more people drop off as home deliveries than anything. Than restaurants. They'll usually stay with you for a very, very, very long time, if not forever, as long as you are growing and have a business. Because if you're getting high quality to them, they're going to stay around. Grocery stores are going to stay around if you have high quality. Distributors can be a little bit more fickle because they might go a different direction on stuff, but generally they're going to stay with you. If you're giving them high quality and good products, you're doing things on time and delivering and everything to them, all that stuff's going to stay with you if you have good quality products. So you have to start there. Do not let anything go out that is bad. That is any bad. It's better to throw away a $5 tray that's going to cost you $5 from growing than it is to give it out and sell it and then they don't come back. That's going to cost you way more. So, and then obviously marketing and sales. So marketing, if you grow the best product in the world and you have the best quality product microgreen ever, if nobody knows about it, they're not going to know to buy it. So you got to get yourself out there. You got to market. You might have to pay for some advertisement. It's not a bad thing. You can pay for advertisement. You can get really targeted marketing on that, which we go over in the marketing class that we have that Jess does. She goes over all the marketing stuff that you guys want or need in there. So that is very good. If you're part of that, great. If not, we'll be talking about that in a minute. So make sure you have marketing. One of your best ways to go out for free marketing is you have to pay to get in, but farmers markets. Get into farmers markets. You're going to interact with your customers. You're going to be there talking to them. You're going to find out what they like, what they don't like, why they didn't buy from you again, why they're buying from you again, what they want. So if you may bring a product to the market nobody wants, now you find out, so you ain't got to have that product anymore. You may find that they really want something you never even thought they want. So always great marketing there. So farmers markets are huge, especially in the beginning. I recommend them highly if you can get in. Start getting in them now because they do fill up. So networking is huge. Partnerships in this business and any business is huge. So building a valuable relationship with local chefs can promote your products are huge that they can do. A lot of times they'll tag you in them products and everything else. They'll tag you that you're their grower. These microgreens are coming from, all that stuff. But restaurants are huge on that. So, and then you can tag them back and everything else and all that, and they'll get to you. Grocery stores, we got great grocery store partners. They tag us and stuff. They add us in promotions. They really do a great value with us. So really, really happy with most of our restaurants. They're awesome. And our grocery stores as well. They really do a good job. They focus a lot on local and they help us get out there. And that creates a steady demand for your microgreens. So people will see them post. They will see that you're out there. They'll see you at the farmer's market. They'll come get a hold of you, all that stuff, everything else, because you were out there. So get your marketing in play. That is huge. So, all right. So this is our first webinar in this series that we're doing, this first webinar we're doing. So we'll get more detailed in as we go along and everything else, but we wanted to do a first initial kind of what microgreens are and a basic layout of this and set the baselines for these webinars. And that's what this is. So I appreciate you guys all being here. The 7-8 of you that are here, thank you guys. This will be available on replay. We'll put it in the community as well.